welcome to another episode of Chatty Broads with Becca and Jess.
Okay. Well, you look real cute today.
Thank you.
Looking fresh.
It's
fine.
literally, people literally only comment me when I'm tan. Like I was in the
Really?
sun a lot yesterday. Well, not only. I mean, I get complimented all the time. No. But like I was out in the sun yesterday, and then whenever I do that, people are like, wow. Like, oh my God. Like in my DMs, people are like, oh my God. I'm like, it's just, I'm tan.
Your outfit,
thank
though. It's like the hair,
Thanks.
the whole thing.
Thanks.
It's just looking fine, fresh,
Thanks.
flirty, thriving.
Thanks.
Beautiful.
Thanks.
You know,
Thanks.
my little summer princess to my goth queen over here.
Thank
Right now.
you. Maybe I'll get some compliments in the comments section this time. Have you seen me like 4 or 5 times? I've gone in the comment section and someone says like, Jess, you're looking beautiful. And I comment, what about me? I've done it like multiple times now. And I don't look to see what people say back. I just comment, what about me? And then I go. Tears streaming down my face right now as I say that. Anyway.
Oh my gosh. Well, all my compliments to you today.
Thanks.
Compliments to the beauty chef.
Thanks, queen.
Speaking of compliments to the beauty chef, I wanted to make a statement right now to Cary.
I was going to say, you mean no? What are you going to say?
Listen, okay? This is a shout out to Cary
In the
right
comment
now.
section, I feel like Rachel.
Oh my God. This is so sad.
It is sad because Rachel's getting so neglected by Cary.
Well, but here's the thing. Okay, number one, don't start off on this foot, Becca. You're full of confidence and stunning and perfect.
Thank you.
So we start off on that foot.
Thank you.
Number two, Cary is feeling defensive of his work. Okay.
Are you serious?
Yeah, Cary's
Are you serious?
Cary's been a little unhinged on social media lately.
Are you serious?
I am serious. He's posting photos and saying like, I know you all think I hate her, but like Cary is...
He's like, but she chose that.
Well, it's a little bit of that, because I will say this, to Cary's defense, these are the things that Rachel says she's comfortable in, and everyone has a different style.
Sure.
And I just wanted to take a moment to acknowledge Cary, because it seems like Cary's having a rough go on his social media right now. He's feeling frustrated, and I just wanted to say, am I a fan of some of Cary's styling? No, but you know what? We all have different tastes.
Sure.
And that job is extremely difficult and wildly stressful.
I actually don't think he's done that bad of it. Like, I know people keep saying like Gabby versus Rachel. I don't know. There hasn't been some of my favorite looks, but I will say, hearkening back to like, oh my God, I remember on like Hannah and Becca's season, some of these other seasons where we were just in nothing but leather booty shorts and sequined crop jackets the whole time. I felt like this wasn't too bad.
And you know what? Here's the thing. Cary, listen here, Cary. Cary, you have different people numerous times a year who have different styles and tastes, and you're having to accommodate to what they feel and what makes them feel comfortable and all that. And again, is it my style? That's going to be a hard no normally. Do want to shout out Gabby's black dress during Jason's date. I was like, where can I get it now? So good. But it's a really hard job. It's
Rachel's trench coat with Tyler's breakup?
Well, that's the outfit he was talking about that he got very defensive on social media about. And he told the whole story about it.
Oh.
He told the whole story about how...
Oh. What's the story? Tell
He
us.
says, okay, so his comment is, let me just start off with this one on the Rachel and Tyler boardwalk
Oh my God.
date.
He is raring to go.
That's what I'm saying. And you know when you're feeling that way on social media and you're feeling
constantly?
attacked, right?
Yeah.
You understand? Right? So he's feeling a certain way. That's why I just wanted to acknowledge him.
Yeah.
I'm sorry if I've perpetuated this. Cary says, okay, before you all get started going after me about how I hate her and need to be fired.
Oh my God. Cary, stay out of the DMs.
Let me be the first
And
to
the
say,
mentions.
you're right. This outfit is bad. this is what sometimes happens.
He's like, but she chose it.
Because this is what sometimes happens on hometowns. We packed for the whole week while we were in Amsterdam and sent them alone on their hometown's voyage based on the weather that is forecasted. But like everything else, weather changes and sometimes a date has to change and so forth. But we realize an unexpected storm may come and temperatures can drop. We always hope we have an extra pieces to move around. Unfortunately for the boardwalk, we hadn't. So at the last minute, we just sent whatever raincoat we still had, and not being there, I couldn't just run into a store and add in the fact that she couldn't even wear a wedge or block heel, and presto comes this. Of course, Rachel, being fun and easy, just tied the sleeves as tight as she could, put on the sneakers with a smile, and just went on her merry way.
Wait, so is this someone else's trench coat?
I think they had packed it like a just in case for maybe, one of their Euro dates.
Yeah. It's an ugly trench. I don't know who packed it just in case.
But I just wanted to say, I feel like Cary is feeling defensive. And I just wanted to acknowledge the fact that being a wardrobe stylist and as someone who's done this, it is very stressful. It's a lot. And you're dealing with different people's styles and personalities. And so I just wanted to say, love you, Cary.
Clip this, Lee. I'm putting that on the Instagram. Interesting. I did wonder, I was thinking about this literally last night. There's not very much time before they get announced as the Bachelorette and when they start filming. I don't feel like they get much say in what they wear.
I mean, probably not.
Probably not, right?
But then it's also for Cary, for the stylist, he
doesn't have much of a
having
notice.
To literally figure out.
No, he's got to do generic
100 different potential outfits that do have to be generic.
Generic 2022 girl.
Right.
He probably doesn't know. Honestly, when he is doing all of the work, he probably does not know who it will be.
There's a lot going on behind the scenes, and I just want to take a moment to acknowledge it.
Oh my God.
That's all.
I do wonder, though, if they have any sort of combined wardrobe, because I could definitely see myself being like, I want to wear that dress that she's wearing.
I know. Why did
you pick out this dress for me?
I remember Cary at some point.
Different sizes, probably.
Yeah.
So no.
But Cary at some point, I remember saying they have very different style, and this is what Rachel feels comfortable in.
So maybe she'd get some say.
Yeah, I'm sure they do.
What on earth does packing look like for that?
That's what I'm saying. It's madness. You're like, you have
but
to
hey,
have
if they
so
can
many
bring
options.
a hot tub all around the world,
that is true.
They could probably bring a hot tub's worth of clothes.
That is very true. But you have to think about, too, what he was saying. You never know what the weather's going to do. So you have to pack tons of options for a variety of circumstances.
They can't order stuff to the next place, though. So I ordered some pieces while on The Bachelor, like producers. This is actually interesting behind the scene thing. For example, in when we were in Lake Tahoe, one of the producers was like, who wants to make an order, we're putting together an Amazon order, who needs more tampons, who needs more this. But then also the girls were like, oh my God, we're going to Florida next. I'm going to order swimsuits. And so we were able to order stuff to the next place.
That's
and then
cool.
of course some girls got booted and then their stuff showed up and we're like, oh,
and you're like, party, free
here's
shit.
Their dresses that they ordered. So I mean, I bet
that's actually really funny.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess he probably could order stuff to the next place, but yeah, that's wild. Poor Cary.
So I just wanted to have a special a person of the episode.
Yeah.
Acknowledge Cary.
Yeah. Don't bully him, you guys.
And so sorry for, But again, that's the thing about style. There's nothing wrong with anything. Everyone has their own personal style.
There's definitely been some things wrong with some of his outfits.
I haven't liked a lot of the things, but you know what? It's not my style. That's not what I'm wearing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then maybe if I, for some reason, was on The Bachelorette, I would be like, hey, Cary, what about an all latex and leather vibe for this entire season?
Yeah. I just can't help feeling like when you have a disco ball dress, we don't need chandelier earrings.
It's excessive. It is. But you know what? Not my style.
Keep on doing you.
You do you, baby. You do you, baby.
All right.
Anywho.
Speaking of you do you, we have 6 hometowns to go over. Why on earth did they separate Avon?
Honestly, Becca, do not get me started on why they separated Avon. It actually really upsets me.
I mean, I am guessing that the reason they did that was we know he's not going home. So I guess it doesn't matter who it would be. We know whoever the third person is for Rachel isn't going
it's
home.
just like, you guys, like that just makes it just feels very afterthoughty, and
Right.
it bothers me.
Yeah.
Like it really bothered me
Yeah.
that then what we're gonna see his hometown date before the Men Tell All next
Yeah.
week. That's strange.
Yeah, it is strange.
Maybe they're trying to extend hometowns because hometowns get better viewership than the Men Tell All.
I mean, look, here is the thing. If they did put Avon's in the episode, or anybody's, I mean, someone had to go extra, I think, because otherwise, if they put the 7th hometown, we wouldn't get to see anything of anybody's. So what are they supposed to do?
yeah, I mean,
Maybe putting 2 people's?
That
No, but
fe-
then they wouldn't have enough time for the Men Tell All.
I just feel like you could have cut Tyler's. The length of that painful experience could have been trimmed down.
Oh no,
a touch.
They gotta keep the shitty hometown in Tino's.
Well,
Tino's?
I was gonna
Oh,
say
no, Tyler's. You're talking about Tyler's.
That's true. I wanted
more.
Tino's. I was like, this is
Give me more.
This is Bachelor history happening right now. My jaw is on the floor. I'm crying for Rachel. I'm crying for everyone who has to experience this painful situation. No, I mean Tyler's it felt long.
That was pretty funny though. Yeah.
And then when he went back to his family
How could
and
they
they
have
made him show that part, that was it was unnecessary.
Did I want to see it though? I did.
It was giving Victoria Fuller after Pete broke up, and they made her go in.
My
and
God,
the family.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, horrible. Truly terrible.
We could have just cut Jason's dad.
I was about to lunge at you. I was like, if you say one word about that angel of a human. Oh, the only thing that you could have cut is
Tyler's ish. Yeah.
I think so.
Which granted, it's like, I think they're probably already cut. I'm guessing they're already cutting a rose ceremony. Because there's 3 and 3.
Interesting.
So it's like they're probably already cutting that out. I mean, is it annoying? But like as an editor, don't know exactly what I would have done. But I hope that they give the bright side is they might give Avon a decent 15 to 20 minutes.
That's true. Maybe we'll get a long Avon moment. It looked exciting.
I am not going to lie.
The witchiness.
It does make me happy that is cutting into Men Tell All.
Yeah, because Men Tell All is going to be a snooze fest.
I know.
There's really nothing.
Who then is what's his face talking to? There's a scene of the guy who just got cut last week.
Ethan?
Yeah, of Ethan being like, "You weren't even there." I'm like, "Oh shit, who's he coming for?"
Well, it's one of the early guys
I know,
who gets
who's
cut,
gonna
who's a
insert
mouthy
some-
trying to.
that's true.
You know what I bet it is?
Who?
I have a prediction. I don't know who specifically who,
Oh, yeah.
but my guess it's gonna be a guy because they've already filmed Paradise.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a guy who was on Paradise who's feeling real big in his britches right now because he's like, I'm about to be huge on Bachelor in Paradise. Who left early? Who's gonna be mouthing off the whole time? And it's like, dude, you didn't even know what was going on.
Yeah, probably.
There's always someone who's normally trying to get a Paradise edit, but it's probably in this case someone who was on Paradise and is feeling real cool. Real cool guy.
Oh my God, you're right. He's like, I made out with Hannah Ann or something like that, you know?
Maybe
He's
like
feeling
Jacob.
hot shit. Oh, I could see that. I could totally Jacob.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so I really am hoping that like Avon will get like 20 minutes cut out of. He'll get a decent time with his family, and we'll get that. Yeah, it does seem like we're gonna see the whole date of them doing this little fortune teller
Which
thing.
looks so
That's
exciting.
fun.
The shattering of the
Dramatic.
the glass table. What's going
Dramatic.
on? We love the drama.
So yeah, I'm hoping that cuts into Men Tell All. So I'm remaining positive about that, even though it was awkward and a strange choice.
Yeah. So strange.
Trying. I liked doing the 6 hometowns though in one episode. I was like, let's keep it moving.
I fully agree with you. I was seeing a lot of people like not liking how much it is, but I agree with you. I feel like the show, the past like few seasons around this point does sometimes slow down, and sometimes the hometowns do feel like we get the gist of it.
We get
and
it.
It's going long.
We don't have to talk to your aunt to know about how great he is. We don't have to watch you guys, wander around downtown Pennsylvania, with beer
Right.
steins. I don't care.
Right. It's like, let's get to the meat and potatoes. And I felt like with having so many people, like I don't know, I enjoyed it.
We were moving right along.
And it was I was saying before we started recording, it was every emotion that I could possibly experience.
There was a lot happening.
There was a lot going on. A lot. Should we just go date to date?
Yeah, let's go date to date. We could go date to date, or we could also do each girl. Yeah, let's go date to date. Who cares? Who do you think after this? I will say I have a different vibe of who is the final.
I
now I'm with you and I'm with Zachary Reality.
You think it's gonna be Eric and Tino?
I do.
I don't know about Tino.
I think, okay, we'll get to that one, but it's not the first time. Okay, I can't help thinking about, there have been multiple seasons where shit does not go well. Maybe not quite
You're
that
right.
bad, but shit goes really bad, pretty bad with the family, not ideal. Girl is crying, whatever, after it. Even Lauren and Ari's family, just because I rewatched this one recently, so it's fresh in my mind. Granted, I watched it last year. The whole time they were like, she's not like they kept asking her questions and stuff.
Oh my gosh, yes.
They kept asking her questions and stuff that were like Becca. And they're like, well, you know, we met Becca yesterday and she was like this. What about you? And they like were really kind of like, it was kind of like that vibe. And then they were saying to Ari, you know, like, well, she's not like Becca. And it was like pretty intense.
Yeah.
And she was just like, they hated me, like, and was crying. And, you know.
I mean,
and I can't help but think sometimes, like with that might have been a weird producer thing too, of them in her ears about in their ear about Becca or like something like that.
Sure.
But she was pretty like, what the fuck after, and they were all telling Ari after too, like you should pick Becca. She's like much better for you and whatever, and like all of that.
I might be losing my mind here, but I'm pretty sure that Hannah Brown, remember the Jed situation? His family was really, really protective of him.
Oh yes,
and it was
yes,
like,
no, you're not losing your mind. I 100%.
Okay, I'm like, am I imagining
his
all this?
His sister was like really standoffish.
Yes,
the parents were basically like, oh my god, yes. His parents were like, you're gonna get in the way of Jed's career. Like,
oh my god, stop.
Remember?
Yes, I remember. I remember very clearly. It was just like, yeah.
My baby boy that you're going to get in the way of his
sister
path.
were just like, yeah.
So I could say, I don't think that that's going to be.
No, you're right. I mean, maybe they are
like
setting up Zach. I know Zach just feels like her guy so deeply, but maybe they are setting him up to be the Bachelor, because it's just been hits out of the park, and they provided for Zach's family the footage of them going on their date.
Right.
They're like,
it's too much, right?
He's got the famous uncle.
It's too much.
Oh, he's got the famous uncle. It just feels like, and they're stoked too. They're like, he lives in Anaheim. He's close by.
Yeah. What about, okay, so here's this though. This is what made me think it's not Tino though. Did anyone send you the screenshots of Joe Franco, his dad, his Facebook screenshots?
Tino's father.
Wait, did you see this though? This post?
I did not see that one. I saw the post that Tino's dad did coming for Bachelor data.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay, well, he was calling out, there's this guy, Sam Rubin, KTLA5, posted this on Facebook originally. Let me timestamp this, July 11th.
And this is Tino's dad?
No. This is this guy, Sam Rubin from KTLA.
Okay.
He posted this. Let me timestamp this, blah, blah, blah. Modern culture has come, as we know it, has ended. An introductory episode of The Bachelorette is so incredibly awful, blah, 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 blah. If a portal opened up and swallowed the show, the world would be better off. Stunningly awful men and two deeply inarticulate women. Yikes, help. Okay, so Joe...
this guy named Sam Rubin said this.
On KTLA 5. So Joe was responding back to this, posted a screenshot of it.
Which understandable, because that is a horrific thing to
so
say.
He said this. Okay, it's true. Our oldest son is on The Bachelorette and got the first impression rose. Whatever that is. Never have seen the show, but watched the premiere Monday. Sam Rubin of KTLA 5 ripped everyone on the show to shreds, but he doesn't know a thing about Tino. Do a little homework, Sam, before you paint everyone with the same brush. Not sure how we feel about the idea of finding your soulmate on TV. And Sam's right, it's a bit cheesy, but nothing wrong with a little fun. It's not 60 Minutes. Let's hope, okay, this is a joke. Let's hope Tino doesn't bring shame on the name. And above all, he may not be welcome back home if he cries on the show. JK, we love him anyway. Hashtag Team Tino. Hashtag Sam Rubin. Hashtag KTLA 5 News.
Daddy Tino is so unhinged.
Oh my God. And then he posted this. The Bachelorette, hashtag Team Tino.
We posted an image.
Yeah, I think he made that. Hashtag Team Tino.
Okay. Well, considering how much he hated the fact that he was on the show, it's interesting that he's posting about it. You know what I mean?
Cloud chaser.
He then literally came for Bachelor data because, you know, she does these incredible analytics.
Sure.
It's
and she's doing analytics, right?
She's doing analytics.
Sure.
And so there was a graphic that she had posted that was about screen time.
Okay.
And he reposted this graphic and made a comment about how in episode 2, Tino apparently the luggage had like more screen time than Tino or whatever. And he was like, yeah, whatever nerd put this together. And he was calling Bachelor Data a nerd. So now Bachelor Data went on Instagram, created a fire clapback video, and then changed her Instagram bio to, in quotations, nerd dash Tino's dad.
Wow.
Obsessed.
Wow.
Obsessed. But Tino's, I mean, this man is completely unhinged. But I don't know if that necessarily means that Tino didn't.
Yeah, I know. Actually, when I first read it, I was sort of thinking that he was saying like the rumors on the street are about Tino aren't true or like whatever, that kind of thing. But yeah, now I was just sort of thinking like, I don't feel like he would have posted in that tone if he was engaged to Rachel.
What if he's mad that they're engaged?
Maybe, but it didn't seem either way. It just felt like, not sure how we feel about the idea of finding your soulmate on TV. It's a bit cheesy, but nothing wrong with a little fun. Let's hope he doesn't bring shame on the name. I just felt like he didn't win. Like he wasn't engaged from that.
No, I understand
her,
that.
you know?
I understand that.
I'm reading in between the lines a lot here. But that just made me think that I think she probably is with Zach. But I do think that I almost called her Gigi. That is so weird. She looks like a Gigi. What's her name? Why can't I think of her name?
Who?
Gabby. Thanks. Couldn't think of her name.
Who could be Gigi?
Rachel. She looks like a Gigi for sure. Looks like a Gigi. Like in a French movie. She's Gigi. Anyway, I'm a little all over the place today, but I think that Gigi, aka Gabby, is with Eric. I don't think she's with Jason.
I agree. I think that Gabby is with Eric, and I think that Rachel is with Zach, unless they're setting Zach up for Bachelor edits.
Which, I mean, he'd be fine as the Bachelor, good, but
it would
I'm not gunning for it.
At this point, after seeing Tino's family's reaction, can you imagine if Tino was the Bachelor? It would be chaos.
I'm still shipping that.
It would be chaos.
I'm shipping that hard.
We do love the chaos.
Okay, let's start with Jason's family, though.
Before we dive in,
a word from our sponsors.
A word from our sponsors. Broads, I never thought my favorite place to grocery shop would actually be online, but here we are. My favorite place to grocery shop in the whole world is, in fact, Thrive Market, the online marketplace on a mission to make healthy grocery shopping easy, accessible, and more affordable for everyone. Thrive Market has healthy swaps for every single room of your house and ships everything right to you, so you don't have to worry about driving all over town to find your favorite products. They'll even price match if you find lower prices elsewhere.
And at Thrive, everything is in one convenient spot. It's huge because for me, like when I'm trying to shop for clean products, I feel sometimes like it's a wild goose chase. Like even, no. God, literally when we're ordering groceries, sometimes it's like I have to get this one thing from this grocery store, this thing from the other, yada, yada, yada. But Thrive has over 5,000 products and they've all been carefully vetted. So you know if it's on Thrive, it's good. And they've got everything like we've been saying, from sustainable meat and seafood to non-toxic cleaning products to beauty products. And of course, healthy snacks for the kiddos. And they even have clean wine available on Thrive. And it's super easy to shop. Thrive lets you browse by what's most important to you by using their filter feature, and that makes things so much easier than shopping anywhere else.
Oh, I use it every single time, and it makes things so much easier. Say you want snacks that are nut-free, dairy-free, and keto.
Yeah.
All you have to do is select those filters, and boom, you have options. It makes it so simple. Or maybe, by the way, you're trying to shop zero-waste products. They have a filter for that, too. In fact, there are 95 different filters you can choose from, which makes shopping a breeze and so specific for you on Thrive.
It makes things so much easier. Like, I have an anaphylactic peanut reaction, so I'm able to be like, okay, let's look for everything that's no nuts. Yeah. I mean, it's incredible. Join Thrive Market today. Get $80 in free groceries. That's THRIVE market.com/chatty. You'll get $80 in free groceries. Again, that's thrivemarket.com/chatty. thrivemarket.com/chatty.
So there's a lot of buzz around probiotics and prebiotics and gut health lately, and for a good reason. A good probiotic can promote immunity, decrease bloating, help your body feel great overall. The list goes on. Becca and I have both been loving Seed's Daily Synbiotic for gut health for quite a while now.
Yeah.
And you have to give it a try if you haven't.
Yep. I think everyone could benefit from incorporating Seed into their routine, because seriously, having a healthy gut is the foundation of so many other amazing health benefits. It's just the base of feeling good overall. It helps balance so many other parts of your body. You just need a healthy gut that's going to benefit you no matter where you are in your health journey. And Seed is the first step in that direction.
And the reason Seed works so well is it's formulated with 24 distinct probiotic strains in scientifically studied dosages that result in maximum benefits. But it doesn't just stop there. Seed has engineered a custom 2-in-1 capsule that protects the probiotics all the way through digestion to ensure delivery to the colon. Other probiotics don't have this, which is why you often won't see any difference. Seed is built differently, which is why you'll see maximum results right away. I started to notice results, honestly, like within the week or so of incorporating Seed into my routine, and it only got better as I continued. Now Seed is an essential part of my daily wellness routine.
Start a new healthy habit today. Visit seed.com/chatty. Use code chatty to redeem 20% off your first month of Seed's DSO1 Daily Synbiotic. That's seed.com/chatty, and make sure you use code chatty. Okay, Jason's family. Love his father, of course.
Okay.
I know you were crying. You're like, please make this my parent now.
Thank you. You read my... Did you read my journals? Because I journaled about it for like 2 hours afterwards. I was like, why isn't this my father-in-law? I love this man so much. And you just saw right away who Jason is and his dad. I mean...
He was so cute. Our family's always been an emotional family, as he was crying. Adorable.
When he walked up and is just like already crying, holding beignets and flowers, I'm like,
cute.
I'll marry you and your dad.
He was like Santa
Straight
Claus.
up. He was so lovely. And then when he right away said, when Gabby was talking about who Jason is to Jason's dad, and he goes, you know, some people need to wear their logo or their brand on the outside. Jason wears his on the inside.
That was so cute.
And started crying. I called my parents immediately. I was like, study this.
What's my love language? Jason's dad. That's what it is.
You know how they say there are 5 love languages?
Yeah.
I'm adding a 6th onto that, and it's Jason's father.
Who? Jason from The Bachelorette.
But no, he was just absolutely darling.
Such a sweetie. And the rest of his family was really cool too, although I did get the vibe that his sister was a bit of a mega fan.
I was about to say, I think we know who got Jason on the show.
Were you the one that said Jason's a fan of the show? Tino's
a fan. I know.
Okay, we're gonna get to that when we get to that, because I'm
surprising.
Confused.
Very confused.
Okay.
I'm feeling very confused about that. But
it was Tino? Really?
It was Tino. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I was thinking it was the whole Jason all along, because I was like, I get the vibe Jason watches with his mom and sister.
Yeah, there's like all these old Instagram stories of Tino with his long hair, like talking about how amazing Tyler Cameron is. Like, he loves Tyler Cameron.
How did people find that?
I don't know,
dude. That's creepy and weird.
Well, you know, as Bachelor Clues always reminds us, we already are infinite because we have put everything on the internet, so we live for forever.
Who was screenshotting that, 2 years ago?
Maybe he has things still up on his like
Maybe,
Facebook or
maybe there was like
something.
highlights or something.
Maybe.
But anyway, yeah, I got the feeling that his sister was a mega fan for sure.
I think so.
She was like, I put him on. She was basically saying like, I put Jason on the show to meet you. That's the vibe I was getting.
She came in and she was like ready. She was so nice.
She was like, well, I'm in love with you already, Gabby.
And she was just, they were immediately like fast friends energy.
Yeah.
His mom and sister are just both beautiful. And that house, by the way, did you take note of the home?
I didn't.
Glamour. Glamorous.
And he's in, where is
New Orleans.
New Orleans. Oh yeah, New Orleans.
Fun city.
Cool.
Glamorous home.
Does he still
beautiful
live there?
family. I don't think so.
I don't remember seeing that on his little like.
Oh no, he doesn't still live there.
Oh really?
Oh, I don't know about New Orleans. I didn't know if you meant his family's house.
Oh no. I meant like his. I don't remember his little tagline being New Orleans. I feel like I would have noticed that, but maybe not.
I don't think it was.
Anyway, now, yeah, the one thing that I was surprised by is that he said he couldn't see himself getting engaged. Mm-hmm. I mean, you know our feelings on that. We're not like, oh my God, wrong reasons or anything like that. But I actually was a little surprised that he said he couldn't see himself there in the process.
Yeah, oh my God. When he said to Gabby, when they were on the balcony, by the way, throwing beads down at the people, which was absolutely killing me after Sweet Jason's horrible dancing.
Oh, yes.
Which I do have to say, listen, the man couldn't dance, but there is nothing I love more than someone who's willing to dance with me in public who knows they're not good at dancing.
You know what I love more than that?
What?
Someone who's dancing with me in public who's good at dancing.
That makes me feel a little uncomfortable.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, because I'm not good.
Yeah.
So then I just feel uncomfortable in my body. I want to be bad together with you. You know,
Yeah,
let's be
that's
goofy
true.
together.
But like if a guy can, like there was this guy at the cob workshop, my cob workshop crush, who was really good at dancing, but then he was kind of like, here, I'll lead the way, like let me like spin you and do all that thing. And I was kind of like, oh my God, like
a little
oh my God.
fluster.
Or like I've been at line dancing before where some guy wants to dance, you know, and then he's like, I feel like when a man is really good at dancing and really good at taking the lead, he can make you look better. Not like when
Sure.
you're next to each other vibing and he's like looks all smooth and you're like,
But you mean like, you know, you're
If
doing
you're,
like
like,
ballroom
or swing dancing
swing
kind of, or something like that. Yeah.
When I'm getting thrown about by a man who's a good dancer, I'm like, make it stop.
Yeah, really?
I don't like it.
Oh,
I feel
love
like I'm just
it.
getting tossed around
Yeah.
and I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
I just want to be silly and have fun.
Okay. Yeah.
That's just, you know,
Yeah.
me personally.
Well,
Another reason Jason and I would be great together.
yeah.
But okay, so
Oh, wait, he was on the balcony. Yeah.
so he says to her,
yeah.
you know, I almost left.
Yeah, I know.
And she's like, what? He's like, I almost left like a week or two in, which it does line up because he was clearly so uncomfortable
Not
being
in
on
his
the
element.
show.
Yeah, I know.
Which is why there's no way his family or friends didn't nominate him.
totally.
He did not. There's no way this man nominated himself for the show.
No. They all talked him into it for sure. Which, yeah, because we had wondered before. I had wondered before, how did he get cast with his very
Shyness.
shy personality in front of a camera? But yeah, and I got some questions or people in my DMs being like, oh, what are your thoughts on her like giving him a pass? And I'm like, I don't know, it was the first 2 weeks. Like, I wouldn't really think anything of it. I'd be like, oh my God, no way. But I wouldn't really like think
What do you
anything
mean
of
giving
it.
him a pass?
Like not giving him I think like not giving him not being more like inquisitive or curious about like why he was about to leave or something like that.
I guess I thought it was pretty clear. It was like he expressed to her on their one-on-one date that he was really, really uncomfortable in front of cameras. And so I'm like, well, obviously he probably was like, guess what? Night one, there are people sleeping on chairs outside. What did my sister sign me up for? I don't want to do this anymore. When he was explaining it to his dad, he was like, it was crazy. He just kept saying it was crazy.
Yeah,
like, this is
it's
very
wild. Yeah.
overwhelming for
Yes.
him. And like his mom says later in the episode, she's like, you get so distracted by what's going on outside. So it was probably so overwhelming for him. And he was like, I'm out of here. But then he started to really like Gabby.
That was really sweet when she started crying and said like, I don't want you to get distracted. And like, also I was sort of like, I might have been reading into this too much, but I was sort of like, does she regret leaving Jason's dad or like them being split up?
Stop it right now.
I was like, did they get too distracted in their lives and like that's why things didn't work out? It felt a little personal to me.
I'm feeling a lot of emotions you saying that because I loved them both so much. I'm literally starting to cry. I love them both so much. Who knows?
I sort of felt like she was saying it from experience. Like, don't let life don't let life like go by too fast. Don't get too distracted and like miss out on the person that you're like supposed to be with and spend your life with.
There was a lot of wisdom you could feel behind what she was saying.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't like it didn't feel like responsive.
Right.
It was like it felt very like it was deep in her.
Look, they might just be setting up him to be the Bachelor.
What?
Which I don't see, but could happen.
I suppose anything could happen, but like that would be the most shocking. I just don't think there's any way that this man would ever do it. He's about to leave the show 2 weeks in. He's still so uncomfortable in front of the cameras.
Yeah, I know.
But when he said that he wasn't ready to get engaged, I know a lot of people were like tweaked about it. For me, I was like, it makes sense to me. Clearly this man, someone else nominated him to go on the show.
Sure.
He almost left 2 weeks in. This was probably just like a let's try this life experience. And now all of a sudden he really likes Gabby. They have, like he said, this crazy energetic connection. And he said, I have to be true to myself. I'm really into her and I'll be devastated if it doesn't work out with her because I won't get engaged. But I'm not comfortable getting engaged.
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously we've talked about this before. We have no problem with that. You've seen, look at Matt. And I mean, there's so many people.
And he also said he was going to have like the conversation when it was appropriate, which I think will be the Fantasy Suites conversation.
I was going to say, I will say the one issue I had was the fact that conversation did not happen at Hometowns.
Yeah. Oh, right.
Or beforehand at this point.
Didn't he say though something might change like in the next couple weeks?
He did. He said maybe my mind will change.
So
maybe they're setting us up for a shock and all of a sudden he's like, I need to marry this woman. And
no, I think
changes,
we've seen in the previews, it seems like he's going to have that conversation during Fantasy Suites. And I believe there's some clip of her where it seems like she's talking to him, being like, I don't know why you waited to tell me until now kind of thing.
God, I love him so much. Him and his family just feel like such beautiful, wonderful individuals.
But also like, I mean, I'll be willing to see how it plays out. But I do feel like if a lead gets like mad at someone for saying that they're not ready to get engaged, that is just always a little weird to me. Like, I get it. I do understand it. But then I'm also like, well, why does it matter? You guys can just date and then get engaged. Like, what does the engagement thing mean?
The engagement thing has always been strange for me as well. It's like, I know that's the whole thing is like a ring at the end of this. Yeah. But I mean, really, is it not just the fact that like you're the one I choose out of everybody?
Sure,
and
I want to continue my life with you. I mean, come on, guys. It is as Joe Franco would say, 6 weeks, 2 months,
and what the accumulation of time together, like 4 hours,
right? I get it.
It's quick.
I get it. I mean, also, I think it's a different feeling on one person's end versus the other. Like, I guess if you're the lead, you're like pursuing all these different guys as potential husbands. But if you're just one of the contestants, then you're sort of like, it's kind of a lot to like decide to get married.
Yeah. Especially in this season.
Yeah.
They've spent less time with the lead than ever.
That's so
true.
There
were 2 people at the beginning. I mean, these men have barely spent any time with Gabby and Rachel. So I feel like it's actually quite...
Are we on Joe's side?
Oh my God, no, I will never be on Joe's side. I'm on Jason's side of processing. Yeah. I appreciate the process. I appreciate the processing, but I really, really, really hope that I wish the conversation would have happened at Hometowns. I think that she deserves to know that sooner rather than later. If he's like, I really don't see this happening.
Do you actually want to do Gabby and we can talk about Johnny and then Eric?
Yeah, perfect.
Let's do that.
Yeah,
okay.
let's stick with Gabby.
So,
on to Johnny.
Now, I was really surprised at how much she vibed with the family. Like, she was just like, I felt like this is exactly how my family is. I'm super comfortable. I felt like super in my element with them. That is one thing that really stood out to me about that hometown is she was by far and away the most like, oh, I vibe with them.
And I have to say, when she walked into that family, like, they were all very comfortable, and it was a very, like, positive, friendly, fun energy.
Which I actually kind of wasn't expecting because Johnny's got kind of like, he's kind of, maybe we just like haven't seen enough of Johnny, but like whenever, I'm always like a little thrown off of like his descriptions of himself or like her descriptions of him. I'm kind of like, I don't think I have a good sense of him like as a person.
I literally wrote in my notes, I said, Johnny confuses me. I think
we're just not. I think
I'm
we're
not
just seeing
picking
edited.
up on something with Johnny. Like,
I think it's just edited. Like,
I feel the exact same way. Yeah, no, I don't think that it's like
right. Johnny's confusing. Like,
no, it's literally like I don't get a sense of Johnny because we'll see these clips of him where he's like very fun and they're silly and goofy together, but then he's kind of got this like bad boy thing, and then he feels kind of reserved but also not. I can't read his energy very well, like just due to the editing.
I sort of had gotten his energy up until this point. I thought he was just kind of this like, I can't really put it into words, but I thought he was sort of like a little bit like more reserved and a little bit like too cool for school kind of thing. But
he's always been so goofy on all of their dates.
I know.
And very playful.
But then I sort of thought that was just him like overcompensating for being self-conscious. But then I saw his family and then I'm like, well, he's really like comfortable with them. And like, I wasn't really expecting that. I don't know. Strange.
Yeah, I can't quite gather. I feel like maybe he's just kind of a comfortable person. Like kind of just.
But on his one-on-one, he didn't give off that vibe. Like he said, like, I'm super self-conscious. I'm super in my head about myself like all the time. Mm-hmm. So
interesting. He's very interesting. I do have to acknowledge his best friend and brother. Johnny, his best friend and his brother, exact same human, no difference. And then prove to me that they're different.
And then
they're
also
the same
his
person.
best friend's girlfriend was there too.
Yes.
Oh no, maybe it was his brother. Someone's girlfriend was there, which I thought was funny.
But the brothers are the best friend, brother, Johnny, no difference. T-shirt, chain, same face, same hair, same energy, same voice. Everything was exactly the same. It was making me laugh so hard. It was just like all like the Palm Beach boys, just like kind of the hair just going back and forth.
It was also really funny how he's like, we're going to go see my family first, actually. And she's like, okay.
Like, shock. Whoa. That was a very interesting thing that they started to do for the first time ever on these hometown dates, where they saw the family first and then they got to have time after.
I think that's a good move. Way better move.
Dude, how shafted are you if you didn't get to have the time after and
had process?
It's like all of a sudden, like, for instance, Jason, they didn't have time after. Not cool. It's so much better to be able to, like, get your nerves out with meeting the family and then afterwards have the process
talk about
time.
your family. Yeah.
All of that. Like, that's so much better.
Yeah.
So much better.
I also would have much preferred seeing Tino's family before, and then I would have liked to have had them hanging out for like 2 or 3 hours after talking about all of that.
That's what I'm saying.
It would have been better. It actually is better TV.
It's way better TV. And I think genuinely, I feel actually bad for the men. They genuinely were shafted in that situation when they didn't get to have the time after to process. And, you know, and it's also that it gives you something to talk about too.
Exactly.
Even if it went really well, it's like there's something to talk about.
Yeah.
And you get to bond over that.
No, I think that's way better. He, though, also said he wasn't ready.
He also said he wasn't ready.
Surprise.
I actually really enjoyed the conversation with him and his dad. When his dad was just kind of like, well, I mean, what are you not ready for? What are you not ready? And he's like, emotionally, I think you're there. Financially, you guys can make it work together. The subtle shade. And John, he's like, financially, you know, hopefully this works out for you guys on Instagram. You know what I'm saying? Together. But I thought the dad was so supportive. The mom, everyone, I will say the mom seemed to be maybe a little more aware of her sons.
Yes. It was funny. was that the moment when Gabby was talking about his eyes and eyelashes to the mom? That was a little, I was like, girl, and she's like, and I just can't. And mom was like, resist. And I'm like, ew, this is weird. I don't like this.
I didn't like that moment
I
either.
don't talk to Gray's mom about like his beautiful eyes and how I just like can't resist. Like, that's weird.
And you know how the mom followed through? Like, she's heard a million women say that to her
I'm
before.
like,
She's
ew.
like, what, resist him? I know. I'm like, this all makes me feel rather uncomfortable. I don't like it. But she right away said that it's a big deal for Johnny to say that he is in.
Yeah.
Definitely got the vibe from the mom and the vibe from Johnny that Johnny is a ladies' man and he likes to date around. He also said at the top of this that this was like a really big deal for him. He's never done something quite like this, like bringing someone home in this type of context. I don't know. That seemed more like, not like he's never brought someone home, but like so quick, all these questions, with all the intention. And then, so mom was a little bit like, yeah, he got the vibe. It's like he likes to date around. Sure. But when Johnny's in, and he's extremely loyal.
Yeah.
And so, that seemed like, from everything we've seen of him, like that read definitely makes sense.
That's not going anywhere though. He's out next week.
No, he has to be out next week.
Right.
There's just no way. I mean, I feel like it has to be Eric. I'd be now shocked if it wasn't Eric.
Well, okay, so Eric's family. This is the interesting thing, and I think that this says a lot about men versus women, because Gray and I were even having this discussion last night. So, first of all, so heartbreaking about his dad going through the cancer, and then now him having passed away since that was filmed is just heart-wrenching, and also makes me wonder if he went to I'm guessing he didn't go to paradise.
No.
Yeah. If he wasn't with Gabby, but all that awful, and you could feel from the family, it's like, oh my God, they're all grieving this already before it's happened, because they like know what's coming, and he's like, how's dad doing? Better, worse? And she's like, worse. And you could just feel that weight and that intensity in the home, of like, they're going through the most difficult thing of their lives. They're going to lose this person, like her husband, their dad, like, oh my God, which also gives a lot of context into the vibe with Eric too, where it's like, okay, even when we were saying about how Eric acted with her grandpa,
Becca, all I could think about the entire time watching this was that this was a really good example of how you don't know what's going on in someone's life, in their process. Obviously, editing makes a difference of what we're being allowed to see and hear.
But like her grandpa, imagine him being like, yeah, she's got this like super rock solid presence of her dad and her grandpa in her life, who she's going to have even both of them, her grandpa included, for years and years. That's whether or not he even cognitively realizes that, that's going to be something going on in your subconscious of like, this man that she loves so much in her life, like, and I'm going to lose my dad. Like, I'm not going to have him around much longer. Like,
when watching this and then thinking back on like our conversation with Grandpa John, it just was like a really good reminder, and I felt so bad just thinking of like, oh my gosh, like obviously, it was like we got this energy from him that we were like, come on, Eric, why aren't you engaging, and da-da-da. It's like, well, there's all those processes that you were just talking about going on, even if it's subconsciously.
Even his anger and being pissed about not getting the rose and all of that, like all that irritability is going to be, that happens with grief. That happens with going through all that stuff in life.
And also considering those were like, and we talked about this on last week's episode. We were like, honestly, like we were trying to, kind of read into certain things to see if things would escalate. And honestly, like considering what's going on, it was so minimal.
Yeah.
And also something that I was thinking about is that at the very beginning of Gabby and Eric's one-on-one date, Gabby and ITM said Eric had given her a heads up about his dad's cancer on their one-on-one, which we never saw him say that.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, when would he have told her this? Because he was with Grandpa John the whole time. He probably told her that when they were sitting at that dinner, when everyone was like, why isn't Eric supporting her more? He probably told her then. And that's why he was probably very somber. And we didn't see that portion. And thinking about that combined with it too, if he told her on the one-on-one, maybe this was something he was preparing to tell her, and then seeing Grandpa John was surprising because he's like, am I going to have time to talk with Gabby alone about this part of my life that's extremely important?
Yeah, that's so weird that it was the dinner date. The only other thing I can think of too is like you do have these moments in between like filming where you're not actually recording.
Okay, maybe
and so
they weren't
like he might have
recording
also
it.
just like mentioned like, hey, there's something I want to tell you. Like this is what's going on. Like whatever.
Right.
Could have been that kind of thing. Like he might not have wanted to do a whole like sit down dinner, like because that's not for everyone. You know, or like sharing in that way is not how everyone feels comfortable doing it. So there could be that. Or they edited it out of the freaking dinner date.
Which
would not make sense.
No. I understand.
What would be the motive behind that?
If he wouldn't have gone this far, I understand that, because it would be like maybe he wants the privacy and not wanting, like, you know,
not like they give a fuck.
That's so true. I was like trying to, I for a second I was about to say protecting someone, but like, please. No. I don't understand. But even if, let's just say it would have happened off camera, point is that probably led to him being maybe quieter on that one-on-one, and it was a lot because they were both experiencing a lot of emotions.
I will say that, and the producers aren't total monsters either. Like there was definitely stuff, I mean, I don't think they're monsters in general, but there's definitely not great things that go on. But like when I was on the season, I talked to multiple producers like off camera about like stuff that had happened with my family that was like pretty serious, and no one ever tried to like exploit that as like oh, maybe you should tell Ari about that, or like let's talk about that in your ITM or whatever. Like no one ever did that actually. So I don't know. So maybe he just said like, I just want to talk to her about that
privately,
like off camera.
Sure.
Or maybe he took that opportunity, but I have no idea why they would not. I have no idea why they would edit that out. That would be
because
odd.
all of a sudden when she said that, when she was walking up to him, I was like, did I absolutely miss something?
Did they say one-on-one in particular?
I went back and listened, and it's, unless I'm hearing things wrong, she said one-on-one. Maybe it was
one-on-one during like the night portion of a group date.
Maybe, but it was still a one-on-one.
Yeah.
So we didn't see it.
Yeah. I would understand if they had one-on-one time in the evening portion of a group date or like at a cocktail party.
Sure.
I do understand them not showing that because like maybe it was quick and it would have been weird to just like throw that in the episode. It might have distracted from other major plot points that were happening in that episode. So I could understand that. That would make sense. Like,
right.
I don't know. But anyway, one thing that was, I thought, amazing is that I forgot that she was an ICU nurse.
I know.
And so I feel like her coming in touch with like life and death circumstances all the time as part of her career was able to probably make her feel so much more comfortable going into that situation of a family that's grieving. And also, I'm sure it made the family feel more comfortable too, knowing that she understands that she's like the people that they've been engaging with all the time at the hospital, in and out of this process. Like, I thought that was really like helpful in this scenario because a lot of people have zero clue how to approach grief or someone who's going through that in their life. Like,
1,000%.
You're trying to like say, you don't want to say the wrong thing and like, but I felt like that gave her the tools to be able to navigate.
Yeah, she was able to step in, and then they were able to have conversations because he was talking
real
about
conversations.
How he was, real and be more open about like what's actually happening. Because I was thinking that too. I'm like, oh my goodness, if I was in Gabby's shoes, you know, I know for myself personally, I've talked about this, like something that I want to work on is learning how to be a support for someone who is processing through grief like that. And so I think, like you said, her being someone who does have to process through that a lot, it was...
Or has to support family members going through that kind of thing too.
And I'm sure that made Eric feel really seen and comforted in the process as well, knowing that that's been her like work and life experience.
Probably just makes him not feel weird, not feel like... I think that when people are going through that stuff, they just feel like Like, how can I relate to someone that doesn't know what that's like when I just am like overwhelmed with emotion at like really random, inappropriate times and like all that kind of thing. And I think it's really hard to feel like you can be comfortable around like people who aren't going through that during that time or like haven't been through that because it's so unpredictable. And so I thought that was really cool that they got to share that. And I mean, this is what I thought was interesting was like, you know, Gray was like, how would you feel like if he's just like hypothetically, there were two guys that you were like equally in love with. Let's like, it's like Eric and Jason or something. Mm-hmm. He's like, how would you feel knowing that you are about to launch into a really difficult period of this person's life? Like inevitably, you're going to launch into a really difficult period. Like, would that sway you like to potentially choose the other person who you might love just as much, who you're not about to enter into that really intense period of life? But it was so funny. I was like, this is maybe kind of a woman thing too, where it's like, I would almost be like, oh, and I think that this might strengthen Gabby and his bond to be like, oh, I want to show up for him in this period of life right now in order to be there for him, because that's going to like bring us closer together and I can be there for him and support him and all of that. But yeah, I don't know. Just like the curious part of me is like, sort of like her being able to be there for them. Like how much more did that propel their relationship forward? Like, what would their relationship look like if he wasn't like going through this super difficult time where they're having to be close in that way?
I kept thinking too, you know, if they are together, if Gabby and Eric do end up together and that since filming, he has lost his father, like how special it is
to have that
for forever, that moment. And even have it captured on screen to be able to like visually see and remember that.
Well, and to have a whole, I think it means the world to also, I think so often we just want to be witnessed. And I think it would mean the world to me to have like the whole country or all of the Bachelor viewership be witnessing my family's grief in a way of like seeing that pain, but then also be witnessing the love between my parents, being able to witness like the love that we have for my dad, be able to witness how much, you know, love he had for our family. Yeah. I think that's like a special thing to have, and that must feel really good.
Absolutely. And for, you know, the viewers to witness how incredible his mother is. Just a strong, amazing woman as well. And I loved their conversation together. Where obviously she was talking about like the reality of what partnership is, in this case, marriage, but that lifelong partnership and what it looks like. And I thought it was so powerful how they were talking about clearly the ebbs and flows, and that it's like, no, this has not been easy. This has been so difficult for me. And I don't know, just the openness about that. And then,
because I didn't even feel like she was just talking about the cancer. I felt like she was talking about like, we've been through a lot in the last 35 years together, not just the last 5 years, but like our relationship has not been like sunshine and roses, was kind of the vibe I got that I really appreciated.
1,000%. So she was saying like what a lifelong partnership looks like is these extreme ups and downs, but knowing that this is a person that you don't want to live without, like regardless of those. And it was, and I was so, I mean, I would have been like, what is absolutely wrong with this show if they wouldn't have allowed time for Gabby and Eric afterward. But I thought then that was really, really special for then her and him to just, and I liked it because it felt like real life. They went to a pub together
There were people there.
I thought there was something about that made it even more special. It wasn't some like, here's fireworks and whatever. It was like, no, we're going and getting a drink after together at a local pub, and we're processing everything that we just experienced today. And you could just see that Eric felt so supported by her. And you could also see it, and he talked about like how, you know, all of a sudden now coming back after being gone, the past few days has been a lot of emotions. But I felt like there was also a different energy about him when they were sitting together afterwards, that it was almost like this weight had been lifted, because obviously he's carrying this throughout this journey, and now he's back, he's at home. She finally got to meet the family, and yeah.
Okay, so we're not calling him E-Rich anymore.
We're calling him Eric now.
Okay.
No, I like E-Rich still. He's E-Rich. He's E-Rich
I feel
for
like you
forever.
can graduate him from E-Rich now. E-Rich was the crypto weird guy with anger issues, but now to me he's Eric.
He's Eric. And I like I said, it was an important reminder of, again, when you watch this show, it is a edited show, and even, I mean, in real life you never know what someone's processing and what's going on. And yeah, just sending so much love to his family and him. Yeah.
How'd you find that out that his dad passed away? On his Instagram or?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was sort of wondering if they were going to like acknowledge that on the show and do like a in memoriam
I know.
type thing.
I wasn't sure.
But they didn't.
I wasn't sure.
Well, following up that with Zach now.
Yes, Zach. Before we dive into Zach, do you want to take a quick pause?
Yes.
Before we talk about Zach, aka Zach's famous uncle, the only thing I care about now.
We didn't
Zach's
even really
family.
see until the after roll, right?
I know. I was like, can you please give us Patrick Warburton for the love of God? I'm like, can he please do some impressions? Obviously, when we did finally get him at the very end, he was everything I needed and more. I was like, this is the king I was hoping for, and I treasure him, and I would 1000% just choose Zach to have these moments with Uncle Pat, as they called him. But first, broads, the best pieces of clothing in any closet are the ones that are so effortless and comfortable you find yourself reaching for them almost every day. The pieces that feel so cozy on, they could be vintage, but the quality is so incredible that they could have also just been made yesterday. You know the ones I'm talking about. That pretty much describes today's sponsor, Faherty. Faherty Clothing, in a nutshell, a family-run brand making high-quality, timeless clothing with modern design and functionality.
Oh, I love Faherty pieces. They've got a commitment to sustainability. Each of their pieces comes with a lifetime guarantee of quality. A lifetime guarantee of quality. That means that they believe in their product, because Faherty will replace or fix any piece forever, no matter what. And the styles are classic, like Jess was saying. They can be carried from season to season, month to month, year to year, and they always look on trend. I have their overalls, and they're linen overalls. They're fantastic.
Yeah, I feel like my entire family has just been wearing Faherty pieces over the summer, especially on the days when we were moving from the beach to dinner to a friend's house. You know, those days when you're trying to think to yourself, how am I supposed to dress for 5 places at once without an outfit change? Faherty is the perfect brand to take you from one spot to the next. Effortless, elevated, comfortable, and perfect for any occasion. That is Faherty, baby.
Right now, Faherty is giving all Chatty Broads listeners 20% off. Yes, 20% off. Head to fahertybrand.com/chatty. Use code chatty at checkout to get this deal. That's code chatty at Faherty, FAHERTY, brand.com/chatty for 20% off. fahertybrand.com/chatty.
So when you hear the word Peloton, your brain might instantly go to two things, bikes and treadmills, which are amazing. But did you know that Peloton is so much more? In fact, Peloton actually has thousands of fitness classes across dozens of disciplines for you to try out on your schedule. It's fitness on your terms. Doesn't matter if you're a boxing pro or you've never run a mile in your life, or if you have 10 minutes to spare or you're constantly knocking out 90-minute workouts. Peloton is a judgment-free space to get your sweat on with a community of people from all over the world and some of the best instructors in the fitness space.
Oh my God, the instructors are incredible.
Amazing.
Shout out to Cody. I'm obsessed with him. Okay, but if we're talking about workout routines, from my experience, like there are so many factors that are going to be against you. You aren't going to have enough time. The gym is close to you, but they don't have any classes that work with your schedule. You don't love the offerings at your gym. Boutique studios can be expensive. Blah, 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 blah. You don't like group classes, whatever. There are so many different factors, but Peloton does an amazing job of clearing away all that noise, and they make it easy to get some movement in. Doesn't matter if you got 10 minutes or an hour. You could take a 10-minute HIIT class. They have even like 5-minute like arm weight workout classes. Super easy to just like do in the morning while you're doing something. Maybe you've always wanted to try yoga, but you're scared you won't be good at it. Just go for it. No one's going to be looking at you in your living room. And Peloton opens up a whole new world of movement possibilities.
Peloton is every type of class you could ever want or imagine, from boxing to HIIT to cycling to yoga.
Yeah, you don't just need the bike.
Nope. I love to end my day with their guided meditations even. They've got it all. Having access to so many options with Peloton has been the best way to keep my body moving every day, because I feel so much better when I'm moving my body.
Their classes are really, really good. Motivation that moves you anytime, anywhere. Try the Peloton bike or the tread risk-free for 30 days. Learn more at onepeloton.com. New members only. Terms apply. Also, just check out their app if you don't have their gear too. It's amazing. Okay. Love Peloton.
Love it. Okay. So, Zach. Zach is in Anaheim. Hello. Close by.
I know.
So,
why did I notice that? I was like, oh, Gray was like, do you think he has a Disney pass?
Oh, for sure he's got a Disney pass.
Do you think he has
Another
pins?
reason to date him. Okay, Becca. Does Zach, the nephew of the Patrick Warburton, who was on the intro video for Soaring Over California, that man doesn't just have a pass. Their family gets ushered in on a goddamn red carpet.
You think if he's your uncle, you still get ushered in on a red carpet?
Yeah, because they're a close-knit family. Uncle Pat's always with them when they go. You know what I mean? He's always there. They get a personal interaction with Mickey every time.
Yeah.
They definitely do. What's that place called? Club whatever. Secret dining. Yeah. Like, you get it all. Another reason to date Zach. You know? There's so many reasons at this point.
Maybe you could get a vocal acting career through him.
Honest to God.
Their date was pretty, though, compared to some of the others, pretty uneventful.
He did pull out that the fact that they rode the bikes, climbed the ladder, and then they watched the planes go by, a tie-in to their first.
I forgot about that. That was cute.
Very
I'm
sweet.
just cutting right to the families.
Very romantic.
Always. Yeah. That was really sweet. I did like the dad subtle shade when he was talking to Rachel and said, if you go to the romantic place on earth, you could fall in love with a monkey. And I was like...
It was like he
shots fired.
Definitely just fired some shots.
But, you know, overall, the family was...
Yeah, I mean, I felt like the family seemed...
I didn't really make much notes about them. So.
No, I'm kind of looking over the notes. I'm like, the family seemed super, super sweet. I did tap into the fact that both parents are very concerned about Zach getting his heart broken. So it definitely seems like Zach is, like, as we've seen from the show, a very, like, you know, emotional, sensitive person. And so, you know, you see his family being genuinely concerned about the fact that he clearly, the mom and dad both were like, we know our kid and we can tell he's really into Rachel. I didn't get the vibe from the family that even though they were very friendly, that they were gonna placate the audience.
Fair.
I felt like they were going to be straightforward, right?
Yeah.
Like you said, the dad threw the subtle shade.
Yeah.
Both parents were like, you really like her.
Yeah.
We can tell.
Yeah.
So I think we're really seeing Zach in this. Like, Zach is very into her.
Totally.
They're very scared about him getting his heart broken, which does give me moments of Bachelorette. Will he get his heart broken and feel devastated? Where it's all kind of leading up to him having that arc.
Sometimes The Bachelor likes to keep the audience like kind of angry. So like I could definitely see them, you know, her ending up with Tino. Like I could just see that,
So
you know?
just to watch the Bachelor Nation just go up in flames.
And
you're not wrong. That is very true.
we'll get to Tina's family when we get there.
But
the montage in the yard of course I knew they were going to do the making out scenes, and I was like, why do they have to do this to this poor family?
And I don't know if you caught Uncle Pat, the way he was leaning against the chair, and he was just definitely like, I've seen better. I've definitely seen better.
Oh my God. Why do they always have these weird video things with them? Like they did their first date with the weird video with their parents and childhood photos.
Listen,
and then
they're
why are they having them?
They're tying it all together. Honey, this is a fairy tale. They're
guess
tying it all
so.
together. The string goes from point A to point
They're
B.
like, oh, his uncle's in cinema.
Yes.
We're going to make nothing but cinematic wonders
you
for their
know
dates.
you know how
I would be like,
heavy-handed
stop.
you know how heavy-handed this franchise is. That's probably what it is. They're probably like, well, he has a famous uncle. He does live close to Hollywood. So we're going to do this whole thing, this whole narrative through their entire... Is Zach involved in the industry? No, but we're really going to keep running with this.
Definitely.
Yes.
Definitely. Was there anything else to note about Zach? Because I'm itching to get on to Tyler
Let's
and Tino.
go to Tyler. Let's go to Tyler. Ooh. This made me very uncomfortable. This date made me so uncomfortable. More so than Tino's family. That Tino's family shook me to the core. Tyler's date made me so uncomfortable. Becca, I had to not watch a couple times because I felt so anxious knowing what was coming.
Yeah, I felt bad. It was not good. It was very ick vibes. I mean, first of all, the whole all the family and extended friends and childhood neighbors and literally, and the grocery store clerk who always used to say hi to him. Everybody being behind the counter of that pizza place.
It was a goddamn block party. It was like Tyler came to home and everyone came out of their houses.
I cannot with that.
By the way, just a tip. Here's free advice.
And did you see how many people were at his house when he went in to say that they were broken up?
It was packed. They were selling tickets outside. They're like, you want to get on the television? Come on in.
So many people.
This is, I'm saying free advice. This is just my personal opinion. Just in general, even off of this show.
Totally. Yeah.
First,
I hear what you're about to say.
Okay, let's make something very clear. This is Tyler's first date with Rachel. They have not had a one-on-one. In my humble opinion, there is nothing worse than being on a first date and being surprised by by going somewhere. Okay, let me rephrase this.
Okay.
To me, I never feel more uncomfortable than being on a first date and the person brings me into their environment.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, hey, what's going on? Hey. And I'm having to meet 100 people night one, or he's having to chat it up with 17 people. It's like, for instance, if you go on a date with a comedian and they take you to the Comedy Store or the Laugh Factory and they're having to engage with 100 people, they think it's a flex. It's annoying because you're like, I'm just trying to actually get to know you on our first date. And now I have to meet 100 people. Well, maybe do that a few dates in. That's fun.
Well, and even that one's better because it's a little more impersonal. But literally every person that she was being introduced to had significant ties to his life. And it's no pressure, but here's all these people who are the most important people in my life. You're going to meet all 30 of them.
Yeah, over
today.
a counter.
I mean,
this is my best friend. That's my boss. There's my cousin. And she's like, oh, my God, your cousin.
I mean, I didn't even back when I was younger and I would be dating someone and I'd have, it's high school and whatever, and early college, and you have to go to their house for the first time to hang out, and they have to you have to meet their parents.
It's a lot. And the thing is, meeting important friends once you've gone on a few dates is a big honor, and it's a big step, and you feel cared for. But on a first date, when you're having to chop it up with 500 people, it's overwhelming. It's not fun.
No, they better be damn conversationalists. Damn good conversationalists that you're meeting. I have met friends on a very, very, very first or second date. But if they're just not making a big thing about it and they're just very easy, bringing you into the conversation, that's one thing.
But it's also too, if you go out with someone first date and they have their friends there and you're sitting at a dinner table or grabbing drinks and everyone's interacting, is very different than going into a space
Just
of
avoid
someone.
it, point blank.
That's what I'm
Just
saying.
avoid
But going
it,
into
like
a
you're
space
saying.
of someone where you're not prepared that they're going to know 100 people and you're not like sitting down getting to know these people. It's just like, hey, nice to meet you. As they're talking, hey, nice to meet you. Hey, nice to meet you. No.
She was
Not a
really
good call.
anxious. The trench coat was bad. And I
Sorry,
just
Cary.
felt like
Shout out.
I know he was wrapped up being in his hometown, excited to see his family, all that. But I could not get over the fact that he did not seem to be able to see that she was suffering. She was suffering. She was in pure agony. And he just seemed totally oblivious.
I think Tyler is so sweet and such a sweet, nice guy, but that was a red flag to me.
That was a red flag to me, too. Like, especially, I mean, granted, like I said, he's got the energy of the day. They're walking around, they're talking to people. I understand.
Totally.
But like, it was written all over her face. And when they were sitting on, I genuinely believe some people say they noticed that she was going the breakup route and that he was trying to like salvage it. I do not think so. I think he had no idea that she was crumbling because she was about to break up with him.
I rewatched the first few minutes of that conversation
Yes.
to make sure that
Yes.
I wasn't missing that I thought maybe he was trying to salvage
I could
it.
see on
I
his
did not
face-
get that vibe at
You
all.
saw no cues on
No.
his face that he was recognizing
No.
the cues on hers.
No. It was, well, she looked horrified the entire time. It wasn't like, oh, I can't quite. She was going,
I'm gonna-
and she kept like,
Yeah, she could be like, I loved all the noises she was making. Like, yeah, yeah,
She was
I'd
trying
never
to,
heard her.
She was trying to
make
put her
those
foot in
sounds
the door
before.
for 2 seconds as he was going on about his love for her, and she was a little bit like, just
I
one
mean, my God,
sec.
while they were walking around, she was in the bathroom being like, I feel like I'm gonna throw up. You know, I'm like,
I really felt for her. That is really stressful.
oh my God. But yeah, I feel like
And she
there's a
had
little
to
bit of
literally just be like, stop right now. I need to say something.
it gives the energy to me of like when you break up with a guy or end things and he's like, what? But like, look at all I've been doing for you. And you're like, but I asked you to like fill my emotional needs this way. And he's like, but I've been doing all of this. And it's definitely not the worst form of selfishness, but it's a little bit of selfishness where you're like really caught up in your own intentions, you know? And like in trying to make the other person happy without really seeing them in front of you.
It's like I said, he seems like a very sweet guy, but it's that red flag for sure of like, you know what it is? It's what we talked about last week when he said, my family said, you better not bring one more person home until you know it's the person you're going to marry. Which means that Tyler is obviously a romantic. He has his, listen, can you picture this? Picture this. He has his game on the boardwalk. Do you know how many summer romances all of a sudden some girl and her friends come out
What
to
the
play
hell?
a
Wait,
game?
he operates that?
I think he owns one.
Okay.
Yeah. And which is such a fun, like, he's at his apartment right off
He's
the
a carny.
I love it. I think that's so fun. But he, you know, like he's running his game, and every summer some cute girl and her friends come up
Sure.
and do it, and they exchange numbers. And they go, I mean, like you can just see
That's
him
the thing, he's,
falling
like,
in love.
17.
You can see him just falling in love.
Yeah.
And I'm like, she's trying to end it, and you're not seeing it because all you can see is the movie The Notebook, and you guys are on the Ferris wheel right now having your moment in your brain. But here's the thing that I forgot about. He is a Rachel mega fan.
Yeah.
He went on the show for Rachel, and if I'm not, please do not quote me on this, but I believe I saw a clip of him on, I think it was Talking It Out, the podcast, that he slid into Rachel's DMs before the show. Like, he is into Rachel.
He's into the idea of Rachel, and I think that's the whole problem here. He's
Right.
not really seeing the person in front of him. So much to the point that even when they broke up, he didn't even seem super affected by it.
Well, yeah, well, and then his mom, when he comes into the house, his mom goes, remember? Oh, no, this is before. This was like in the clips
yeah.
between while they were breaking up. I mean, rough. His mom goes, remember when he left and said, I'll see you in a couple of months? with my soon-to-be wife, Rachel.
Yeah.
Like that, you nailed it. The idea of Rachel, this is their first date.
Yeah.
And he feels like he really is in love with her because he loves the idea of Rachel. It was so rough, Becca. It
was rougher on her than it was on him, I'll say that. Certainly helps that he's back home with his family, so I think that is kind of the other thing, too. Because, look.
His family was legitimately cheering when he walked in, and then he sat down, and they're going, yeah, where is she? Where's our Rachel?
Bring her
and
in.
he literally has his hands up. He's like, guys.
But they're gonna have a big family dinner. They're gonna have lots of pizza.
He's gonna go back to that restaurant and meet up with his 500 friends and cousins and bosses, and they're just gonna have a great
He'll cry
night.
over slice, and then he'll head to paradise in 2 days, and he'll be fine.
You think he's going to paradise?
Yes.
Yeah.
He was built for paradise. He kind of reminds me of Jared. I always used to say, not actually in personality, but like Jared, I always used to say he reminds me of like a fox, and he kind of reminds me of a fox. They both have these like cute, sharp-featured little faces that are kind of youthful.
He is a cutie pie. Do you think he'll do well on Paradise?
He might act a fool, total idiot, make a fool of himself.
Do you know what I think is going to happen with him if he goes
What do
on
you think?
Paradise? I think there will be at least 2 women who are coming for him, who have like a crush on him.
No, definitely.
And I think he's going to get caught up because he's going to declare his
That's
love
what
for
I say
both
when
of
he
them.
gets caught acting a fool. That's exactly what I was picturing. 100%. He's going to get caught in some sort of love triangle.
Yeah.
He's going to accidentally take things too far with one person, but then decides that he actually has more feelings for the other, and it's going to be flip-flopping. We're definitely going to see scenes of him with his head in his hands being like, I just don't know what to do.
Because he's such a doll. Like,
Right.
there's going to be numerous girls who are like, oh, he is amazing husband
This is going to be a Blake Dean situation. He's going to enter into their footsteps for sure.
Jared. I mean, there was drama with him and Ashley I.
I don't remember that. So long ago.
So ancient.
Was it with another girl though?
Yes, he was very into, I think it was Kayla.
Yeah.
And Ashley was like, we should be more than friends. And he was like, I can try, but I like her more. So much drama.
Oh my God.
And
All
now
right,
look
speaking
at
of
him.
so much drama, let's wrap it up with Tino. Woo! Woo! Poor guy. First of all, I got to say I'm sorry for Tino because he was blindsided.
I don't know what's going on, Becca.
I don't either.
I've been Team Tino this whole time, but I don't know how much is editing and how much is producer, but the wheels are falling off a little bit for me right now.
Wheels are falling. Okay.
Because just as we're talking about Tyler being like, I like the idea of Rachel, again, I'm trying to get better at being like, I know I have my favorites, so then I have to be fair here. How does Tino not know his family at all? To tell her over and over again, there will be no issue. They're going to love you. And then after that train wreck, him saying, no, they adore you. I'm like,
They don't adore you, bro. Adore?
Huh?
I mean, it'd be different if you said, I think they like you. They're just really protective or whatever.
If he would have been
different.
like, listen, they can be rough. But he told her, and by the way, I was writing down in my notes that before they got to the home, she was digging in. This was, talk about foreshadowing. The amount where she was like, I'm just really worried. Like, this is really important. She kept, they went back and forth for like 5 minutes where he's like, I promise you're going to get their approval. She's like, do you realize how important this is though? Like, this is a big deal. Like, are you sure? Like, what's going to happen? And he kept telling her over and over again, there will be not a problem.
Why do you think she was just picking up on energy? Why do you think she thought that there was going to be a problem?
I don't know. That's why this whole thing is feeling so weird to me. Like, how could he be so unaware that his family is how his family is?
He said, though, and this is why it was also confusing, because in one of his ITMs during it, he's just sort of like, he was like surprised by their response.
But like, again, if you take a quick gander at his dad's Facebook, you can gather how this guy is. So I'm like, do you just not... What? How were you so shocked?
I don't know.
That your family was... like this.
Yeah.
Like, here's the thing. I would know that if I was on this show, I know my family well enough to know whatever producer said to them, sure, producers would be able to probably manipulate my parents to a certain extent.
Right.
But
the parents would manipulate my parents to high heavens.
Listen, Mom, shout out, I know you're listening. I love you. You would get so manipulated by these producers. It would be mind-boggling.
My mom would too.
My mom, God bless her sweet, trustworthy heart. She'd be like, okay.
My mom trusts pretty much everyone.
Sure. It's beautiful, right?
Yeah.
It's beautiful. We'd have to coach them for forever beforehand. Be like, do not listen to what they're saying. But I know my parents would get manipulated by producers.
Yeah.
But I also know my parents well enough.
Right.
To know what this would look like.
Right.
The Bachelor would come in. My mom and dad are very friendly. They'd be super nice, but they also would be like, hold on a second, though. What about all the other people? My parents would definitely be
For sure.
very much like, this isn't really serious, though, right? They would do that, but they'd be very friendly.
Right.
The producers could never get them to a point
Be mean.
where they would be so rude.
No, if anything, my parents would be, the rudeness would come from indifference, where they would just be like, sure.
Sure, you're in love.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. If anything, they'd be mean to me, but not to the person they don't know. You know?
If anything, they'd take me in a separate room and be like,
what's wrong
we
with
are
you?
so ashamed
What is
of your
wrong with
life
you?
choices that it brought you here.
What's wrong with you? What are you talking about? You're in love with this guy. What are you talking? He is dating 3 other women. What are you talking about? You know, and I'm crying, you know?
My mom would be like, what about that one sweet guy that you dated like 2 years ago? Have you called him up? What about him?
I brought him over.
Yeah,
He
no,
walks in the room.
she'd bring in one of my exes that she liked. Remember?
No, for sure. Right. It's like they would be mean to me. They would not be rude to the person. But then that's the other thing. They were weirdly like hyper protective of him, where it's like, you don't know Tino like we know Tino. I loved the Twitter meme that we reposted on our Chatty Broads account, where it was like, what's his blood type? What's his like? What was his childhood imaginary friend's name? Yeah, that was the thing, and that's a different energy, right? Our parents would be mean to us because that's how they are.
They'd be like, what's wrong with you? But they would be kind to this person that they've never met before.
Well, you know what? Jess, another family though. Pete's family to Maddie.
Oh, for sure.
And he picked her. Well, he picked
that's
one of 3, you know?
He picked all of them.
He picked all of them. So that's another example. Sweetnums was pretty intense with Maddie.
Sweetnums.
I forgot about that.
That was so wild.
She was just like, she's rude. She made us wait. Like,
you know what? I would love, at this point now, it's been a good amount of time and emotions aren't there so much. I would love to have a conversation with Sweetnums about why it was so elevated. Like, what really happened?
She hated her.
Because I know she had said it was hours they were outside waiting for her. Like, I would really love to know what elicited such an intense emotional response from Sweetnums, because I feel like in general,
they said it was because I think his brother said because they like waited for hours or something like that.
Right, but I mean, listen, you can say what you want about Sweetnums. Sure. She's typically a very upbeat, friendly person,
unless you make her wait. Apparently,
she doesn't like to wait.
I mean, she seems like a rather entitled woman.
I just feel like I would love to know.
I would too.
What went on? You know,
I'd like to know too.
I feel like there's a lot of stuff.
We've been wanting to have Pete on. We should just ask. We should just ask him, like, hey, why was something we've been dying to know? Why was your mom so ticked at Maddie?
Yeah. What was the deal? What did we not see?
I don't think that's like a.
Tell us the reason why she did not like her so much.
So much. Mm-hmm. She was fucking mean to her.
That was so wild. I forgot about that.
No. Oh. Okay, so this is what I will say about Tina's parents. They certainly didn't adore Rachel, but I also don't think they hated Rachel. I think they absolutely hate the show.
I think that if Gabby would have walked in instead of Rachel, they would have responded the exact same way.
It didn't feel, what I will say is it didn't feel personal. The delivery was unacceptable and very rude, but it didn't feel personal.
No.
Do you know what I'm saying?
No, it wasn't like, it wouldn't have mattered. Well, you know what she said, which I think was a perfect example of what you're saying. She said, I could have been the most perfect person walking in there. And I wasn't getting the vibe from Rachel that she was feeling insecure that like, oh, they don't like who I am.
Yeah.
She seemed like, I'm so exhausted. And like she said, Becca, how did she not cry? I would have started bawling.
I would have at least started, like, my eyes would have definitely gotten watery for sure.
One of two, actually, no. I know exactly what would have happened for me. Both things would have happened simultaneously. When I feel
You would have
like,
gotten angry and you would have
yes,
gotten, yeah.
like, and I tell you the exact moment. It was when she's sitting alone with Tino's dad, and he says to her after he says, convince me that you know the real Tino.
That's a lot. Yeah, that
Convince
was
me that you know the
weird.
real Tino. And I was just like, okay, so we're doing tests now apparently on this show. And she then is so generous with her response and saying, you know, his outlook on life, humble people. And his dad laughs.
It's just, you're saying all the right things.
Deep side,
Yeah.
you're saying all the right things, but like, no. To literally hear someone be like, you just gave the perfect answer, but it's just nah. And then when he says this is your second go around, so I'm
I
like,
love the other one
is
too.
this person just looking to get married, or is this person really like Tino? That's when my rage, the tears would have started, and then I'd get elevated because she then said I wouldn't put him in this position just to get married, you know, that's what she said. She's like, I wouldn't put him in a position like this just because I want to get married. Like, this is about finding the right guy, and like, this is about him. And he interrupts her and goes, well, you're looking for an engagement, so you've got your mind set. Even though she literally just said, no, that's not what I'm doing. I would have been like, you seem to have your mind set, my guy. You're talking about my mind being set on an engagement, and it doesn't matter what I say to you right now.
Yeah.
Your mind is clearly set on the fact that it doesn't matter what. Oh, the level of red that I would have been seeing and been like, how dare you be so disrespectful to someone you've never met?
Would you have done that?
Oh, for sure.
You would have?
Yeah. There's a point that I reach in conversation where it's like, I feel like I'm a really, really nice person. And I'm like, I feel like I'm very respectful in conversation, especially to somebody that I don't know. But if a man, a grown-ass man, is speaking in such a belittling way to me, my triggers would explode and I'd be like, I will not be spoken to like this.
I would have buckled.
You would have buckled?
100%.
You think so?
100% would not have confronted him at all. Guarantee.
Really?
I would have. First of all, I think I might have. Things might have gone differently if I was in Rachel's situation.
Oh my God, do tell.
No, I think that
Leave
I could.
this yarn, queen.
Okay, let's say he responded the same way. I think I would just be like, I think I would just kind of shut down. I think I would just be like, well, I think I would just be like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I really do care about him. I might cry. I might be like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I really do care about him. And I don't feel like you believe me, but, you know, at the end of the day, it's between me and him. And I think I would like that. I think that's what I would have done.
Yeah. You know, it's now that you say that, recalibrating, I'm not thinking about the fact that she's like falling in love with Tino.
Right.
If I'm with someone who I'm
trying to impress their dad.
Yeah, and I'm falling in love with,
yeah,
I probably would have just cried.
Right.
I'm thinking about this, watching this, being like, I don't care what Tino thinks of me. I would have been like, I'm about to let this man have it in a half.
No, imagine if it was Evan's dad, you know, like talking like that. Yeah.
I mean, I've told you stories. Yes. Like crying. Just like, please like me. Please.
Rough.
What I was distraught by.
Oh, was him saying I'm falling in love with you like right after that?
Well, sure, there's that too. But before that even came, I would have been like, why didn't you defend me? I would have been really upset by the fact that he just sat there.
I feel like he didn't witness the worst of it.
No, but even when they, like, how the conversation started, he came in right away, and the dad right away said, well, yeah, but how much time did you get together? And starts throwing things at him and laughs.
Right.
When Tino said, with Rachel there, you know, well, by the way, I noticed Tino was saying right away, his dad goes, well, how much time do you get together? And Tino right away is like, you know, kind of using sports analogies. Well, all these other guys are going to strike out and they're going to get sent home. And I kind of had this sad moment where I'm like,
he's just wanting to impress his dad, parents.
And maybe this is Tino's guard because his parents are like that.
Can't impress anybody, can't please them, can't be enough for them. Yeah, definitely. I think so too.
And so
I think he's also trying to be, when you're saying does he not know his family, I think he's also trying to be optimistic. I think you know that feeling too of like going in with your parents. How many times have I gone into situations with my parents and I'm expecting this response from them, like, yeah, it's gonna go great, and then it doesn't, and I'm just like disappointed once again, and I'm not enough for them.
Yeah, no, I definitely had that moment when his dad came at him out the gate, and he had this kind of like tough guy sports analogy that doesn't actually feel like who Tino is, as kind of a defense mechanism to like shut his dad down.
Yeah.
And to try to like prove himself to his dad almost and act like Mr. Tough Guy, like I'm sending all these guys home, which doesn't actually feel like who he is.
I think I like Tino because I think I relate a lot to Tino.
Yeah.
Someone DM'd me being like, I think he's arrogant and low-key psycho. And I was like, no, not at all. Like, I think that I relate to Tino because I feel like Tino, because my parents are not like Tino's parents. Let's make that very clear. But I feel like you're saying, he has not ever really been enough for them. And I feel like in his life, he's kind of trying to prove, like, by doing things that he's like enough, you know, like he's so into volunteering, you know. Rachel even brought that up of like, oh, he's like always giving blood. Like, that was so cringe, by the way. He's saying to his mom, like, he gives blood. Like, who does that?
I know. I was like sweating. I was sweating.
His mom's probably like, we've gone as a whole family every month since they were 15 or something like that.
I know.
But
I was like, say something. I'm like, make up something really deep and intimate about him.
Not that he gives blood. God. But you know, it's like not the donating blood. Oh my God. But I just see that sort of like him needing to like prove himself by doing those things. I mean, like, it seems like he does a shit ton of volunteering. Like, he's always trying to do these things for the community, always trying to like, I think his whole job is centered around like helping people and all that kind of thing. So I just see him, and like you said with the sports analogy and stuff, it's just sort of like, see, I'm successful. Like, I'm checking all the boxes.
Well,
like am I good enough?
A little drunk last week and started going like, I got to send these guys home and whatever. It feels like a defense mechanism.
I mean, that's how I get when I'm cornered. You know, it's like it can be very like arrogant, very like, yeah, I'm better than everyone. And it's like a defense mechanism that I've also witnessed in my family of like, well, we're better than everybody kind of thing. And so I don't know. I feel like I see Tino's heart, and I feel like he has more emotional maturing to do. But I think he's, at the end of the day, a really like sweet guy who just wants to do his best. And unfortunately with mom and dad, he hasn't quite separated from their expectations yet.
And I do not know him, and like I said, I've been a team Tino this whole time, and I don't doubt that. I'm just saying, watching it, right? And then also, if I'm Rachel,
I agree with all that.
I'm going, I don't know how to process the fact that you said 100 times there's going to be no problems with your family. We sit down with your family, they launch at us, and again, like I said, we see these moments with Tino where seems to be putting on this attitude for his dad. But regardless of that, if I'm Rachel, I'm like, can you please defend me right now?
Oh,
like,
there's definitely a very good chance to that in the long run. If he is not good enough for his parents, his partner certainly will not be either. And there will be digs and all of that happening. And
she kept saying comments like, you know, like, this is so important. We need your family's approval. And he was kind of making comments like, I would like their approval, but so it's almost like he's not, which, you know, that's plenty of families where it's like, we've talked about this a million times. There's been so many situations on the show where there's trouble in the family and you cannot judge someone because of their family, like your own autonomous person. But of course, when you are, like I said, hearing him saying there's not going to be a problem, if he would have said to Rachel, I got to be real with you, it's going to be rough with my family.
I don't think he hasn't separated himself from their approval yet, and because of that, I think he's in denial.
Yeah,
because I think, like, I feel like part of it is you've got to cut yourself off a little bit from your parents in order to be able to be honest with yourself about how maybe they're not so flattering attributes.
I know.
It's like, I think he's still in that mode of like trying to protect them.
But I would have, like, if I would have been Rachel in that situation.
I wonder if he's posted something.
As much, what?
I wonder if he's posted something.
If I would have been Rachel in that situation, as much as I would have been so shell-shocked by his parents' reaction.
Yeah.
If he would have taken a moment and been like, hey guys, I get that you are displeased with me making this call, but like, you gotta chill.
Yeah.
Rachel's a wonderful person. That would mean so much to me if I was Rachel, because I'd be like, here I am walking into this. This is so upsetting and shocking. I need my partner to acknowledge what's going on and not do this whole, they loved you, I promise.
I know.
I'm like, can you validate my experience that was horrible?
No, I think it's 100% emotional immaturity because I think he's got a lot of process with his parents, because also I guarantee, and this shows that he's got more maturing to do in his relationship with them. If he had said some shit like that, would not have.
No, it wouldn't have gone.
It would have been drama, and I don't think he's not there with them. He's not there with them. He's not ready to face the music of that reality of their relationship yet.
Which, again,
and we don't know them, and we don't know them. And also, they could have been egged on by producers and told that she is this girl who is just chasing after a ring and has promised 3 other guys that she's going to.
But again, my point about that though was, even if my parents would have been told all that stuff, like there's some things that with all of that being said, if I'm Rachel, I'm walking away being like, I have a lot of concerns now.
Yeah.
That I have to process.
He didn't post anything about it. He just posted about a charity walk to sign up for. Get some therapy.
Well,
good luck with your crazy family.
And you know what? Here's the thing. Plenty of us know that your relationship with your partner is not your family's relationship.
Yeah.
But there just has to be clear communication and honesty and recognition about what the reality of your family
relationship
is. Yes. Where it's like, let's acknowledge the fact that that this is how it is, and we can then move forward together in our relationship, because our relationship isn't my family and my relationship.
Yeah, no, he's not there.
But that's the only thing.
So that's going to be a thing.
Well,
that's a thing. So what do you think? Zach or Tino?
It
going so awful almost made me think that it was Tino.
It feels so blatant. It feels so blatantly
Zach.
Well, you know what it is? I think now at this point too, I'm having a lot of questions because Jason and Johnny say we're not ready, so it feels so blatantly Eric that I'm like, will they do 2 such obvious ones? And
you
Eric,
think it feels obviously Eric? I don't know if he feels like that to everyone though.
It feels obviously Eric to me because both of the guys are like, I'm not ready to get engaged.
Yeah.
Even though, okay. I
love trying to pick up cues on their social media, being like, what have they each posted?
Preview for next week. We see Zach this is in 2 weeks, excuse me. Preview for 2 weeks from now, Fantasy Suites. We see Zach saying that he had a full 180 after Fantasy Suites.
And he said it's positive.
It's a positive 180?
Yes.
But he already said that he's in love with her.
No, he's talking to the guys who said I wasn't expecting that. He's just saying that, like, he couldn't even imagine that the relationship would be that much closer or whatever.
Okay.
Guarantee it.
I'd
put money. I'd put big money on it. I'd put big money that it's a complete 180, and now he's ready to say that he's ready to marry her.
But then,
you know what?
Yeah.
Jess, that could literally be it. He'd be like, I wasn't sure if I was ready to get engaged. And after Fantasy Suites is a complete unwaiting.
Yeah.
180. I know she's my person and I'm ready to marry her.
Okay, you're probably right. You're probably right.
Okay.
Now, Eric, on the other hand, we see him saying to Gabby that seeing a girl he loves doing that with someone else crushes him, and she's crying. So he's pulling one of those at Fantasy Suites.
You think?
That's what it sure looks like. Now, my question is, 5 seconds after that, we see Jesse Palmer telling Rachel that she will be going along this journey now alone. Single bachelorette. Gabby, looks like Gabby's gone.
Oh, shit!
So what my question is do all the men leave? Or do Jason and Johnny say, we can't get engaged, she's into Eric. Eric leaves, though, because it's too much for him, especially post-family, and does she follow him? Or does she go, no? I don't know what it is, Becca, but I have this deep feeling that all the men leave.
Johnny's gonna, she's gonna send him home, or he's gonna leave, whatever. Johnny's gonna be gone, obviously. Something happens. Jason, I think that there's gonna be that thing if he's not ready and she's gonna be like, this is what I really want. And I think, honestly, Eric might be like, I know that you're my person I want to get married to. And she might say, I don't want to waste any more of your time. Your days are numbered with your dad. Time is precious. I don't want you to miss any more with your family. Well, again, she might leave with him. They might. Yeah, definitely. Okay. Yeah. I think that might happen next week with Gabby.
Okay.
Or that might happen the week after.
Fantasy Suites,
yeah, probably. Or, yeah, right. But then there's two-part finales, right? And then after the final rose, after the two finales.
Two-part Fantasy Suite.
Two-part Fantasy Suite.
Remember we were saying that means everyone was saying, oh, we probably get the Gabby episode and the Rachel episode. I don't think that's happening. I think there's a lot of drama during the Fantasy Suite segment, and I think they're going to be in both episodes, both of them.
Gabby's going to get engaged to Eric and leave.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Yeah. And then Rachel, oh, wow, not what I thought. I thought Rachel was going to go early.
I know.
So, yeah.
I don't know, but it looks like it's going to be a very dramatic Fantasy Suite.
She's got to end up with Zach.
I don't know, dude. I'm so back and forth.
I want to look up spoilers so bad. Are there spoilers out there?
I saw one spoiler I'm so mad about for Bachelor in Paradise.
Oh, yeah. I don't want to know. I do know one.
I'm really pissed.
I know one spoiler.
I'm really pissed that I know.
I know one spoiler about it.
I'm so annoyed.
I know about a couple. Or about a couple.
That's what I'm saying. I know a solid couple from Bachelor in Paradise, and I'm really tweaked that I know. I'm really upset about it.
Okay, we're going to talk about this after. Okay, anyway, love you, broads.
Love you, broads, so much.
Week.
Tune into the bros, and yeah.
See you next Tuesday.
We'll
and tune into the bros. Okay, bye. Chat soon.